All right, I be live. Swedish chefs. First comment says shalom. Thank you. We need some Jewish diversity in these times. Oh wow, a lot of people joining in real fast. I hope you guys appreciate the thumbnail. When I was thinking of like what thumbnail I should use for this live stream, but that is like one of the funniest pictures I've ever seen. So hope you guys feel the same way. That shit's just so funny. Let me go through YouTube real quick and find that. Wait to get into the live stream comments. Okay, we're gonna wait a little bit, see who gets in here. We got a lot of people commenting already. Thumbnail's lit. That's a great thumbnail. Thank you. That's what I was just saying. It's a fucking good thumbnail. Happy Pride Month. Thank you. Yes, it is. It is the gay month. So to all those gays watching, I wish you a happy gay month, and I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're spreading your gayness around, because it's good to be positive about your own gayness. Um, let's see. Why are you gay? I'm not gay myself, but I'm here to let the gays spread their joy and their gayness. I don't see a problem with homosexuality. It's kind of attractive. Not gonna lie. Let me go to my Discord and let these dumbasses know I am in fact live streaming, so we can get a couple more shitheads in here. 83 watching. Wow, that is hot. It's damn sexy. All right, let me just post this in there, and I will start. I will start. All right, so wow, what the fuck? All right. First off, I am going to wait until someone mentions the first movie, and that movie I will talk about first. So I'll just wait for the first suggestion. I can hear the clap of your cheeks in the background. Shit, he found out. Clone Wars. Someone said Clone Wars first, so I want to talk about that. Just gonna put that in the bad pile. Wasn't expecting much from this movie. Um, the TV show is much better. The TV show is one of the best parts of the Star Wars franchise, in my opinion. The Clone Wars is such a good TV show. It's one of my favorite things out there. Um, and the movie, I guess, was an experiment to see if people would watch it, and it set the bar pretty low. Maybe that's why the Clone Wars is really good, but that's obviously not right. But yeah, the movie it's about Jabba and his son and saving Jabba's son and shit. It's kind of a dumb movie. I'm gonna be honest. Like I was pretty much bored throughout the movie. I mean, the animation was pretty bad. Let's be honest. But they definitely updated that in the TV show. But there's not much really to say about this movie except for it's kind of forgettable, kind of bad. Animation was lackluster. There were some cool fight scenes. I guess it was an okay introduction to the TV show. I didn't think they really. I didn't think that. I don't think they were thinking that this movie would set up a good TV show, and it did. So I guess it's good for setting the bar so low, which makes the TV show look much better. But let's see what the next suggestion is. Because I'm kind of done with Clone Wars. I don't really want to talk about the movie. Not really worth my time. Episode 3. Okay. Trump Edits put that in. Thank you, Trump Edits. Where is that? Oh, here. I'm putting that in Makes Me Wet. I'm going to be honest. Revenge of the Sith, no joke, is one of the best movies in the series. It's corny and campy and has some dumb moments, but it kind of adds to the charm of the movie. Like I like the stupid cringeworthy moments, like when Palpatine is like shouting no no you have lost, like it's a funny moment. There's some other funny shit in this movie. Just the dialogue is better than the first two movies, in my opinion, the prequels. Um and some of the dialogue in this movie is pretty bad too, but I don't know. The dialogue in this movie was just like so corny. It was funny. I just thought it added to the charm of the movie. This movie had a lot of weight, especially watching the Clone Wars before this movie, which I didn't do. But after watching the Clone Wars and then Revenge of the Sith, I was like, you know what, this movie is a lot better now. And Clone Wars actually helps enhance Revenge of the Sith. The lightsaber fights in this movie are fantastic. Uh, it's a visually appealing movie as well. The characters are stronger than the first two movies of the prequels. Um, yeah, and I don't know. I think someone just donated. Fat Man donated again. Fat Man always be donating, dude. He's a fucking fat OG. Last Jedi, more like last movie. That's funny because I'm actually going to save that movie for last. So for those people suggesting Last Jedi, I'm going to be saving that for last because as you can see, it has its own little tier right here. And yeah, well, I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith. Um, it's just a very heavy movie. Order 66 is one of my favorite cinematic scenes of all time. I think it's perfect. The music, the visuals, just everything about that scene is fantastic. Yeah, everything about almost everything about Revenge of the Sith is fantastic. It's overall just a really good movie. Hopping Button donated $2, dude. Hell yeah, it's pretty good. Um, yeah, I think that's all I gotta say about Revenge of the Sith. It's a very underrated movie. I can see why people don't like it, but at the same time, I feel like this is like one of those movies that makes Star Wars. It's campy, it's fun, good action, strong characters. Um, yeah, it's just what makes Star Wars really good. All right, a lot of people are seeing Solo. I'll do Solo next. It's okay for me. Just like Clone Wars, I really don't have much to say about it because most of it's kind of boring. It's a movie that wasn't really needed. No, excuse me. I see why it didn't do well at the box office because people were protesting, but I don't think the movie deserved it. If anything, Last Jedi deserved the low box office numbers. Solo was just kind of there, but it wasn't necessarily a bad movie. It's an okay movie, but it's kind of boring. Um, Amelia Clark was kind of whack in this movie. I didn't really like her acting, even though she's kind of a decent actress. I just couldn't get into it. I thought the Darth Maul cameo was kind of stupid. It was really unnecessary. It was just there for people to be like, "Oh, it's that guy from Phantom Menace." You know, I guess it worked for some people, the fan service, but I just couldn't get into it. I didn't like they made Lando pansexual or whatever they're trying to go for there. That was really stupid. Um, Personally, I thought Lando was always just like a ladies' man to me. He's one of my favorite characters in the franchise. He's been a ladies' man in 5 and 6. He's just like this really cool guy people want to be, fucking classy. And they just kind of dumbed him down in Solo. If I'm being honest, I think it's Donald Clover. Is that his name? The actor who played him. He did an okay job with what he was given, but yeah, honestly, Solo is just overall an okay movie. There's some good things I like about it, some bad things about it. The action in this movie was pretty cool. The plot itself is meh. The actors did a pretty good job overall. Uh, yeah, so that's all I really gotta say about Solo. The next movie people want me to do. Let me scoot this down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that was kind of. I apologize. New Hope. Okay. New Hope. A New Hope is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. Uh, Revenge of the Sith is very close, but A New Hope is where it started. I think A New Hope is the most just clean movie, stable movie. I think everything about it is just really good. I know the fight scenes are pretty dated, especially Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader, but I thought it was just like super entertaining because of how bad it was. And you got to, understand this came, I think it was 77 when it came out or 79, one of those. And yeah, A New Hope, it's an old movie. The effects are pretty dated, but you got to respect it from when it came out. That's what I really like about this movie. The effects is something I really respect, and how they did with practical effects and all that, and green screens. Um, the stormtrooper scene is an all timer. Yes, it is. Um, this movie just it looks awesome. It's a visually appealing movie, much like Revenge of the Sith. Just the visuals are something just to appreciate. Um, and it has my favorite scene in the entire Star Wars franchise, which is the binary sunset. When Luke just looks at the sky at the binary suns, and the music is fucking fantastic. It makes everything. And yeah, uh, Daniel Eber said, "Good old fashioned, good hearted writing too," and that's what it is. Yeah, just great, just great writing as well for the characters. The characters are enjoyable. I love the good guys. I love the bad guys. It's just an awesome movie. It's almost perfect. Um, there's some things I dislike about the movie. I think C3PO and R2D2 going through Tatooine was kind of slow at some points, but other than that, I think the movie is pretty solid. Um, yeah, I don't really know what else to say about A New Hope. It's just because I don't really have good things to say about it. I could go on and on about how much I love this movie and how great it is, but I think I've just kind of summarized my thoughts. Let me see the next movie that comes. Okay, Phantom Menace. I'll talk about that. I'm putting that in the bad category. Um, Phantom Menace was a letdown. There's a lot of things to dislike about this movie, but I feel like people overlook some of the good things. Um, the Clone Wars definitely saved Darth Maul's character. This movie nearly killed him, but they made him into a really cool character. But that's a TV show. I'll just talk about the movie. Um, Killing off Darth Maul was one of the stupidest things this movie could do, or at least attempting to kill him off. I mean, you got a cool looking bad guy you could have had through episodes 2 and 3 as well as some sort of obstacle the good guys have to go through, and a rival for Obi-Wan. And again, they do that in the Clone Wars, but it could have been so much better if it was in episodes 2 and 3. And they chose to just kind of kill him off and replace him with Count Dooku, and then replace Count Dooku with Grievous, and then replace him with Darth Vader. So kind of stupid. Um, that saber scene was amazing, though. Daniel Eber said it was. The ending fight scene with Darth Maul, Qui Gon Jinn, and Obi Wan was awesome. Probably the best scene in the movie, honestly. The music, Duel of Fates, I believe it's called. It's one of the best soundtracks in the whole franchise. Um, okay, let me get to the worst part of this movie. Uh, Anakin. I think his name is Christopher Lloyd, if I'm correct. Chris Lloyd, something Lloyd. It's I don't okay, whatever. The actor, the kid can't act, and I know he's a kid, but they should have like this is Star Wars. Jake Lloyd, thank you. It's Jake Lloyd, not Chris Lloyd. Uh, Jake Lloyd is a terrible actor, and I know he's a kid, but this is Star Wars. You could have gotten any kid to play this part, like literally any kid, because every kid likes Star Wars pretty much. Uh, and Christopher Lloyd is the Count. Yes, thank you. Christopher Lloyd is Count Dooku. I mixed up the names because of the last name. Um, yeah, and Ashley Tupper said it was shit direction. All the actors are terrible. Um, honestly, I don't think it was just the direction. I think the execution with Christopher Lloyd, or sorry, Jesus, Jake Lloyd was terrible. Because people there were actors in this movie that could play their parts well. Liam Neeson did a fantastic job as Qui Gon Jinn. Um, and what's her name? The actress who plays Padme. Jesus, I can't remember her name. Anyways, she did a good job. She's also in V for Vendetta. She's in Thor movies. I can't. Natalie Portman. Thank you. Okay, Natalie Portman did pretty good with what she was given. I think she's a good actress. Um, and yeah, I just thought Jake Lloyd was just so obnoxious. Kid actors are hard to find, but not for Star Wars. Like I said, you could have picked any kid, and the character is a Gary Stu. Like people give Ray shit for being a Mary Sue, but you have Anakin building a droid that knows every single language in the universe basically when he's what 10 and or 9 and he's a slave. He can he can pod race. He's good at pod racing. He knows how to drive. He knows how to fly a ship for the first time. This is a Gary Stu. This kid is perfect. Now they fixed that with 2 and 3 when they make Anakin a flawed character, but when he starts out as a Gary Stu. He is like the perfect character. He's a perfect kid. He's smart. He's strong. He's brave. Everything he does, he's just a perfect fucking kid. And I don't care if he's basically he's symbolic of Jesus because it was a virgin birth or whatever. Mary Stews and Gary Stews need to go. They're not good in writing. No one has. I don't think anyone has ever, created a good character like that. And I don't care if he's the chosen one either. I think that character should still be flawed. The reason why, like, he shouldn't start out perfect. It's about the potential. This kid has the potential to be perfect. He doesn't start out perfect. We see him grow into someone who becomes perfect, the chosen one. But you can't just be perfect from the start because there's no development. I honestly, yeah, that's the only time I didn't like Anakin as a character because he was just perfect in Phantom Menace, and that really hinders his character, unfortunately. Because I like him in two, I do like him in two. I like him in 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and they almost fucked it up here. Let's see. I think that's all I gotta say about Phantom Menace. The plot is stupid. It's really boring. Most of the time they're spent on Tatooine, and like most of these movies, just like they're on Tatooine for like majority of the movie. I don't understand this. Why are they always got to focus on these damn sand planets? I'm tired of it. Um, and yeah, that's all we gotta say about Phantom Menace. Plot kind of sucks. Anakin really sucks. Actors did okay with what they were given, except for Jake Lloyd. The ending fight scene was really good. So overall, comes to a bad movie. In conclusion, we hate sand. Yeah, honestly, I understand what Anakin said. Fuck sand. I'm tired of seeing it. Everyone's saying Empire. I'm doing Empire Strikes Back. I'm putting this in the good category. No, Makes Me Wet. I was thinking of another movie. Sorry. Empire Strikes Back. Wets My Pants. It's a very good movie. Uh, I still believe A New Hope is a better movie. You know, Empire Strikes Back is seen as the best Star Wars movie in the franchise, but personally, A New Hope was just groundbreaking for me. And overall, I liked more things from A New Hope than Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back also has a really good, like, one of my favorite fight scenes in the whole franchise, which is Darth Vader versus Luke Skywalker, because it's not really the choreography; it's about the characters fighting and the big reveal. Um, and this movie has really good pacing. I noticed that's where A New Hope kind of lacked in the beginning, but it picked up later on. But from beginning to end, Empire Strikes Back has great pacing. Um, I do like the Luke Skywalker training session with Yoda, the Dagobah planet, the Hoth planet. We saw so much stuff from different planets. I feel like we got a good variety from this movie, um, which is what kind of lacks in the other movies, in my opinion. And I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I just like A New Hope better. It has my favorite scene in the whole franchise, and it's just a stronger movie in my opinion. And Empire Strikes Back is a strong movie. It ends on a pretty depressing note. They went a different route than A New Hope, but I don't know. I just feel like A New Hope has better aspects towards it. Uh, yeah. And again, Empire Strikes Back is still a really good movie. I just prefer A New Hope a slight more. Empire Strikes Back. Well, there is one thing I don't like about Empire Strikes Back. They showed us a scene with a bunch of bounty hunters, these cool looking characters, and really all we see is Boba Fett afterwards, and then he gets canned in episode 6, which I will talk about later. Uh, Yeah, I thought it was pretty stupid to waste characters like that. That could have been like another obstacle for the good guys. It would have created more variety with the Empire, but it kind of just pushed him off screen. They gave him one scene and for the bounty hunters, and yeah, it was kind of wasted. Let's see, next one, next movie that's mentioned, I will do besides Last Jedi. Now do Attack of the Clones. Finish up the prequel. Okay, I am putting it in the okay pile. And people say it's the worst of the prequels, but personally, I think Phantom Menace is the worst. Now, Attack of the Clones is probably technically, objectively a bad movie, and the story is kind of but there's a lot of good things in this movie that people overlook. For example, Jango Fett is really cool. He's a much better version of Boba Fett. Um, he looks cooler. He puts up more of a fight. He has a bigger impact in the story. He's the reason why the Clone Wars even started. And then I went back and saw that his backstory in the comics, which is really cool. He can kill like 5 Jedi. He's just a fucking cool character. And other cool stuff. Christopher Lloyd as Count Dooku is fantastic. Christopher Lloyd is just a good actor in pretty much anything he is. He's got like that. He's like Charles Dance in a way. He just has a menacing presence, even though he's an old man. Um, and then we got it destroyed Boba Fett's character. I actually said, yeah, one of the stupidest things in Attack of the Clones is we get another kid actor who can't fucking act. Oh my god, this kid was worse than Jake Lloyd. He could not act for shit. I don't know. George Lucas is to blame because he gave the kid some terrible dialogue, but I hate that little shit. That little shit in the movie was so goddamn annoying. Goddamn. Oh, and it's Christopher Lee. Fuck man, have I been saying Christopher Lloyd this whole time? Shit. My bad. Yeah, Christopher Lee is a good actor. Let me go back to that. Let me go back to talking shit about this little snot. Boba Fett is so goddamn annoying. Kid can't act. His character, like, he becomes Boba Fett after his dad gets his head chopped off in front of Mace Windu, and the Clone Wars kind of expand upon, Jesus Christ, expand upon this by having Boba Fett wanting to kill Mace Windu, but not in 4, 5, and 6. He wasn't in 4, but not in 5 and 6. They even how about have a character who was a menace to Boba Fett in 5 and 6? Kind of have him be the killer of Jango Fett or something like that, because Boba Fett's relevance in 5 and 6 just seems more meaningless. And yeah, I fucking hate that kid. Let me go back to the good stuff of this movie. Uh, I loved the scene where Anakin goes to find his mother. The music playing, it's like a mixture of Duel of Fates, and I don't know what the other soundtrack is, but there's good symbolism and subtle little moments of showing him as Darth Vader in the shadows, which I really fucking loved. There's some cool shots of him looking like Darth Vader, like in the dark, and as he becomes more darker and more on the Sith side. It's just scenes like that just really add a lot to this movie and gives it more depth and life, which it does need, because the relationship between Padme and Anakin is lifeless. It's besides Boba Fett, it's one of the worst parts of the movie. Christopher Lloyd is Doc Brown. See, I'm mixing up names, and it's hard for me on the spot to remember a name. Like, if you give me a moment, I could remember it, but I feel like I gotta keep saying things on the spot. Christopher Lloyd, Jake Lloyd, and Christopher Lee all have like a same name in common. I'm just whatever. I'm trying to get past that. Uh, yeah, and the Padme Anakin, we all know that's bad, horrible relationship. Um, I I guess the fight scene at the end was really cool. And I say I guess because choreography was kind of off at some points. I do like the introduction of the clones and how all of them are basically CGI with their helmet on. Well, they all actually are CGI with their helmet on, and they look pretty realistic for the time it was made. Um, People are talking about Hayden Christensen. Yeah, I'll talk about him too. I feel bad for him because he got way too much hate. People should have, if anything, given hate towards George Lucas because he gave Hayden Christensen the horrible piece of dialogue. Um, One of the dumbest things in Revenge of the Sith was the dialogue, and while it was funny and corny sometimes, there was one line that was so dumb. When Anakin was fighting Obi-Wan, he said, "Well, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil." It's one of the worst pieces of dialogue I've ever heard in my life. It's just void of any life. It's just so to the point and just a stupid line. Hayden did a good job portraying the character. He looked like a threat. He looked like a threat. He looked like a young Darth Vader. The best moments with Hayden Christensen and young Anakin in the prequels is when he's not speaking. You know why? Because George Lucas gave him shit dialogue. Hayden Christensen can act. He was just given very poor direction. Let me bring up the Revenge of the Sith real quick. That scene with Anakin looking out the window while Padme is looking out the window and they're just looking at the city. One of the best moments in the series. You know why? Because there's no goddamn dialogue. And the music's beautiful. The best parts of Star Wars, in my opinion, are the visuals and the soundtrack. Dialogue is, to me, the weakest point of all the movies, even the original trilogy. So yeah, going back to Attack of the Clones, though, like I said, the plot is pretty weak. Characters are kind of weak, but they add some really cool aspects into this movie that I really enjoyed. Like I said, objectively a bad movie, but I really really enjoyed it. I really did. I love the subtle hints of Darth Vader and Anakin. I like Jango Fett. His scene with Obi-Wan when they first meet was a really cool scene. These are probably like the best actors in the movie, and they weren't given shit dialogue, which is kind of a first. Oh, also that restaurant or like 50s bar that Obi-Wan went to, that was dumb. I didn't hate the characters inside the bar. I just thought that was kind of a stupid design. But, it's kind of a nitpick. Oh yeah. Oh, another great scene from Attack of the Clones. That's my last point about Attack of the Clones. Was that one scene where Obi-Wan uses the Force and that like druggy guy who tries to sell him these like sticks or whatever, these drug sticks, and then Obi-Wan basically forces his mind to tell him to go back home and do something different with his life, more meaningful. That was a really funny moment. See, George Lucas has a potential to create good dialogue. It's just he gets lazy at uh, a lot of the points in the movie. Death sticks. Thank you. They're called death sticks. I call them druggy sticks because it's basically what they are. All right. I'll wait for the next suggestion of this Star Wars movie. Fish sticks. Okay. I saw Rogue One first from Ufagi E. What the fuck is that name? I'm putting this in the good pile. Very underrated movie. Very. It's not on the level of A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back, but still a very good movie. My God, the third act in this movie is fantastic. It's probably the best act in any of the franchises. Well, I wouldn't say that, but it's on that tier. It's on that level of A New Hope. What kind of sets the movie back is the first two acts, which aren't bad at all, but aren't as good as the third act. They're just kind of okay and do get boring at some points. But here's the thing: Bronze Alive said Rogue One was good, but the characters weren't well developed. All right, let me just bring this up because many people make that point when they're shitting on this movie, or at least bring up a critique about this movie. I don't care about the characters. because the point of this movie was to pretty much enhance A New Hope and transition into A New Hope, because now we know why there's a giant hole in A New Hope that blew up the Death Star. This movie kind of saved A New Hope in a way, and I really appreciate it for that. And yeah, the movie exists to be a transition from 3 to 4. And why would I give a shit about the characters in the movie? I know they're gonna die. It's kind of like Halo Reach in a way, like Noble Six. Those characters, they're cool, and you like them, and that's how I felt about the characters in Rogue One. But you know they're gonna die, so why even flesh them out? They're kind of there just to kind of move the plot forward. Rogue One is about the plot, not the characters. I don't give a damn about the characters, really. It shouldn't be about the characters. I don't want to waste time fleshing them out. So just focus on the plot. And yeah, Halo Reach, same thing. Like I said, Noble Six was there to move the plot. It's about the plot. It's about Halo Reach. It's not about the characters. They're there to enhance it, nothing more. And that's fine in some movies or any sort of entertainment, because you don't have to have a story about the characters. It can just be a story about the plot and help have the characters help enhance the plot. Um, yeah, so that's really got to say about the characters in Rogue One. They did their job fine. I feel like they weren't there to be the best characters ever. They're just kind of there to help enhance the plot. Now, Rogue One did some really cool stuff, I thought, with the CGI. The movie looks fantastic, in my opinion. And CGI Grand Moff Tarkin and CGI Leia. At first, I wasn't really on board with it, but I respect it for taking that risk. And it will look outdated in a couple of years, but for now, it still looks pretty decent, in my opinion. Um, I thought it was cool to CGI real life characters like that. That was a really cool concept. And when I saw Leia at the end, this was right before I heard of Carrie Fisher's death, so it just kind of made it more impactful when I heard about her death. So it's just a more beautiful moment for me, I feel like, and I could appreciate that moment more with her saying hope at the end. And you didn't. Let me just say that the movie, or the movie's best scene, is Darth Vader killing all those rebels. I mean, 4, 5, and 6 should have had scenes like that. We saw Darth Vader fight, and they showed how powerful he was, but he wasn't as intimidating as he was in Rogue One. Rogue One really showed how powerful and scary Darth Vader could be, and I really respect the movie for that. Um, just the visuals, the acting, the music, the visual. I just said visuals, but yeah, all of that together just made a really awesome scene. Um, yeah, and I don't know. I just feel like this movie is pretty underrated. There's so many good things about it. The only bad thing about this movie is a few pacing issues, and it creates some boring moments. That's all I can say. And I was kind of confused at some point. That's I think that's because of the pacing. But other than that, this is a pretty solid movie. It's really good. Really enjoyed it, and yeah, I feel like it's completely underrated. I'll just wait for the next video or movie suggestion. Which one I should do? We got 4 left. Last Jedi's going last. I'm just saying. Force Awakens. Okay. Um. See, okay, I'll put it in okay. Um, why I was skeptical about putting it in the okay tier is because Last Jedi pretty much shit on everything The Force Awakens built up. J.J. Abrams, he's not that good of a director, in my opinion. He's made some good stuff like The Office, but other than that, I don't know. I just don't like his work. Super 8, I guess, is another good thing he's made, but uh, I was kind of surprised with this movie. I thought it was gonna bomb. I thought it was gonna be like the worst shit ever, but I did enjoy it. Would I watch this movie again? Probably not. but I did like it. Uh, Han Solo's death was pretty good. The ending scene with Rey and Kylo wasn't. At first, I was pissed off about it, but then I thought, you know what? Maybe Last Jedi will explain why she's the new Anakin, the new Gary Stu, or at least Phantom Menace Anakin. But nope, she's not a chosen one. She didn't have a virgin birth. She's a fucking nobody. How do how do you fuck that up? Like, that's why I wanted to put this in the bad tier because that last scene really dumbs the movie down. I don't care if Kylo got shot and he's weakened. That's fucking dumb. Kylo's been training it all his life, and this chick picked up a lightsaber 20 minutes ago and she beats his ass. That's dumb. That's kind of like Darth Vader getting shot and then he gets his ass kicked by Luke Skywalker. Everyone would be bitching about that, but for some reason defend this shit. It's fucking stupid. Uh, Finn is a boring character. Poe is a boring character. R8 is an R2D2 boring ripoff. Uh, Honestly, the only aspects I enjoyed about the movie were Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford, the old actors, because the new cast kind of sucks. They're kind of boring. Uh, Something I want to see from uh, BB-8. Apparently, his name is BB-8, not R8. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm fucking with you. Um, I'm fucking joking, Chief. Uh, Honestly, he's the same droid to me. I don't really care about the name. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, about the new cast. If you're gonna make like a new generation of something, it better be fucking better than the old generation. Because why would I want to watch something that's worse than the old generation? The point of doing a new generation, uh, or a new rendition of something, or recreating something old, is to make it better. This is why people don't like the live Disney movies, such as Lion King or Beauty and the Beast or Dumbo. Those movies are infinitely worse than the old movies. The old movies are perfect. Why even attempt to even enhance these movies? And listen, the old trilogy isn't perfect. There's some flaws in it. So the new trilogy had the potential to uh, create something better. Now, the prequels weren't made to do that. They were there to basically enhance the old trilogy, not to tell a new story, but create something better at the same time. That is the job of the new trilogy, and they failed. They failed massively. I think uh, A Force Awakens had great potential and set up a lot for Last Jedi, and The Last Jedi actually deteriorated this movie because a lot of things and a lot of aspects in this movie depended on The Last Jedi, and they kind of just blew it off. Um, the new trilogy, like this isn't just A Force Awakens, but the new trilogy has boring fight scenes. I liked the old trilogy's fight scenes. They're a little slow, but they have a lot of depth and heaviness towards them. And the prequels have a lot of choreographed dance moves, which I do like the more fast-paced lightsaber moves because it's more like I don't know. It's just more entertaining for me. Is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the fight scene in this movie either. Uh, the story's okay. I don't know. Honestly, I felt like A Force Awakens should have started with Finn, and he was the main character. He didn't have to be a Jedi or anything. Just someone who represented the Empire. First of all, I think it's kind of stupid the Empire came back out of nowhere, and this Snoke guy, I don't know where he came from, but anyways, let's just pretend that's a good idea. Why not do a trilogy where we show the side of the bad guys? It seemed like they were going that route until whoops, sorry, we got to tell a shittier version of the original trilogy. uh Battlefront 2, the EA version did the same thing. We thought we were going to get a video game about Star Wars where we get the dark side, that we get to see their viewpoint, the bad guys, the Siths, all them. It's going to be about them. But no, they flip sides and we get another good guy versus bad guy, but we see the viewpoint of the good guys again. That's boring. The prequels were more complex than that. There really wasn't no good guy versus bad guy. Maybe Phantom Menace, but they tackled a more gray area. That's perfect. Original trilogy was good guy versus bad guy, but they took a more gray area at the end, and that's what it started as, good guys versus bad guys. They didn't need to do something different. That was just something they established. With the new trilogy, it's the same. It's a watered down version of the original trilogy. So why would I waste my time watching something shittier than something I could be watching that's better? Uh, yeah, honestly, I overall did enjoy Force Awakens. I do have my problems with it. I would have put it in the good pile if The Last Jedi was better, but so much depended on The Last Jedi. I gotta just put it in okay. It's lucky to even be in this tier, to be honest. I'm just gonna wait for the next thing that's mentioned, so I can review. I saw Return of the Jedi. Okay, thank you, J Fighter 11. I'm putting this in the good. Now, a little disappointed in this movie. Okay, I was hyped about. I was a Boba Fett fanboy, so I'm a little butthurt that they basically killed him off like that. So, yeah, I got really butthurt about that. That's just how I feel. Sorry. This is my opinion and my list, so just flat out say it. They should have done more with Boba Fett, but they killed him off in like the stupidest way possible. Yeah, and I thought the rescue from Jabba was kind of fast and really had nothing to do with the rest of the movie. I felt like that should have been at the end, saving Han Solo from Jabba, but they just kind of get that part of the movie out of the way as quickly as possible. And Jabba just kind of dies, and his whole fucking all of his guards, his piggy guards die. I don't know. The first part of the movie is just kind of weird. I do like the set of Jabba, like his palace, the Rancor, like all that looks great. Visually, the movie's still really good. Just the plot's kind of dumb. To be honest, the first act. Now the second act and the third act are good. The third act being really good. So I will say the movie does get better and better as I watch it. It is kind of like Rogue One, except the second act of Rogue One is probably the worst. But yeah, you know what? Return of the Jedi. The last two acts are pretty damn good. The last act, especially. There's a lot of emotion, weight, and heaviness towards this movie. The characters are great, except for Han Solo. Han Solo is kind of a goofball in this movie. I don't know why they did that to him. He's kind of an idiot, honestly. I didn't like how they did that. Uh, yeah, I guess that's the only bad things I have with this movie. The only flaws I see in this movie is uh, kind of a mediocre first act, and Han Solo is kind of an idiot in this movie. But yeah, other than that, the movie is still really good. And like I said, the third act of Return of the Jedi is fantastic. Really good conclusion to an overall really good trilogy. Um, and yeah, I liked Darth Vader's transition because I feel like Luke really got to him in the fifth movie, and then before they even met with Sidious, he was talking to him, trying to convince him to turn to the good side, and defeating him and showing himself being in pain against Darth Sidious helped him transition. I thought it was a good transition for him to make a decision about turning going to the good side or the light side or whatever. And yeah, what really sucks is that this was such a great conclusion to this trilogy, and then they started the franchise up again with the Force Awakens. Empire just kind of comes back out of nowhere, like I said before. So it kind of doesn't make this movie as impactful as it used to be. And people have told me it's impossible for something to be ruined beforehand just because something new deteriorates old material. Well, the word ruined exists for a reason. I feel like some aspects of Return of the Jedi were ruined because the Empire just kind of comes back out of nowhere and takes over. And the Last Jedi shows that the rebels are now like super weak and only have like 12 people left to fight for them. The whole point of Return of the Jedi was to get him back on top, but yeah, they just kind of brush that idea aside and say, you know what, let's make these fuckers keep fighting. Let's not give them a fitting conclusion. These characters don't deserve a happy ending. They deserve to die off by their own fucking son, or get killed off in real life and be replaced by CGI character in the third movie, Rise of Skywalker, or die in a very stupid way by making a clone of yourself across the universe or galaxy to fight your nephew. Yeah, these characters we loved in the old trilogy kind of died off in stupid ways. I kind of wish Han Solo lived his life, just because he deserved it. I feel like same with Luke, same with Leia. These characters deserve just to have a happy ending, and they just said, fuck it, let's bring the Empire back and kill them off. What are they going to do after the new trilogy? What happens after the Rise of Skywalker? Are they going to say, "Oh, look, the Empire is coming back again. This time it's super duper Empire, and they got someone bigger than even Sidious and Snoke. It's super Sidious Snoke guy. I don't know. I feel like they're just gonna do another fucking trilogy. It's gonna be the newer Star Wars trilogy, and they'll make everything in the latest trilogy pointless, just like they did with the original trilogy. I don't know. Uh, they just should have killed him off. I don't know. It sucks that these new movies are ruining movies that were just so good. Uh, Ashley Tupper says Episode 9 is supposed to be the end of the saga. Well, that's what George Lucas thought, and I see Disney dying down, and then a bigger corporation rises up, buys the franchise from them, and then makes a newer Star Wars franchise. It's gonna happen. All right, so I'm gonna go for the holiday special. Have any of you actually seen the holiday special? I I don't understand it. I don't understand its existence. It's just this movie can be pretty funny at some points because of how fucking bad it is. It has one good musical number in on Tatooine in this stupid bar. It the best moment in the movie is a musical in a bar on Tatooine. That's the highlight of this Star Wars movie. Jesus Christ. Half the movie is just Wookiees jerking their little dicks and making their little Wookiee noises. So most of the movie is so you hear that for fucking an hour and a half. So that's fun. Uh, I don't know what else to say. There's a lot of really pointless cameos, like actors you would know only if you were born in the fucking 60s and you see them in the 70s and 80s. So people today won't understand. I think B. Arthur would be the only one people would get, and she kind of died off in what 2007. So yeah, B. Arthur is probably the best thing about this Star Wars movie. B. Arthur, the best thing about a Star Wars movie. This is where your boy Boba Fett premiered. It's true. We saw an animated Star Wars segment in this movie, and Boba Fett was in it, which looked horrible. I mean, everything about this movie is just shit. Even the bar scene, the best scene in the movie, is shit. Who gives a damn if a bar is shutting down in Tatooine because the Empire needs to expand its fucking whatever? This movie is goddamn shit. Ugh. Waste of an hour and a half. Um, Actually, I don't know how long this movie is. It felt like an hour and a half. It might have been only 50 minutes for all I know. God damn, I know I hate this movie even more. I might need to put in the Last Jedi tier. Um, yeah, this movie's filled with musicals and singing moments and uh, what else? What other great stuff that you would want to see in a Star Wars movie? There's no fighting per se. There's some uh, goofy comic relief slapstick humor, so that's good in a Star Wars movie. We do see Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher return. Yeah, I'm surprised they even got them there. James Earl Jones is in it, or at least his voice is in it, because Darth Vader appears in the animated segment in the movie. So that's fun. That's great. I guess seeing those old actors and hearing an old actor is great. I guess I have nothing good to say about this movie. Like I said, it's so bad it's laughable at some points, but most of it is boring and fucking Ewok or Wookiee language. So yeah, I'm done. I'm done with that. So let's talk about The Last Jedi, a movie I've talked about in a full length video I made, which was about 17 minutes long. Let me give you a summarized version of why this movie is utter shit. Carlos said Justice League or The Last Jedi. Well, let me just say that um, Justice League is basically the Last Jedi of the DCEU franchise. Like both those movies are equally shitty. Um, what are some good things from this movie? Let me think. Adam Driver did a decent job, even though his character is written horribly. Um, yeah, that's it. There was nothing else I really liked about this movie. Uh, the fight scenes are horribly choreographed. The plot is ridiculous. The casino planet, ew. Rose is one of the worst characters, worse than Jar Jar Binks, one of the worst characters in the franchise. That's why I chose her as the thumbnail. And, you know, I didn't like when people attack the actress. She did not deserve that. I don't care if she chose a poor role. No one deserves death threats because the character is shit. Ryan Johnson just fucking sucks at writing. So I'm not saying he deserves death threats, but if anyone were supposed to get those, it would be Ryan Johnson. So they should not have attacked the actress, but the character's shit. Plain and simple. Actress doesn't deserve hate. The character most certainly does. Um, Rose just she's a hindrance towards the rebels, if anything. She nearly killed them all at the end. The casino plot is incredibly pointless. She could have done something else, but no, she took Finn to some casino planet and to find some code breaker, and yeah, it pretty much ends with the code breaker betraying them at the end. So, like I said, pointless plot. Could have used those scenes for some more development for the characters, like how Rey got her powers. You know, more training segments for Rey, but they decided to show her flinging her goddamn lightsaber around near a rock. If you can do that, you've mastered the Force. Now, uh, let's talk about the feminism crap in this movie. And I'm usually not one of those guys who's like, "Ooh, feminists, men go their own way." I don't take the red pill. Um, I don't necessarily watch those feminist videos or whatever, like Get Wrecked 2018 shit. But they were so unsubtle about the female power in this movie. I mean, like, all the male characters were idiots, and all the female characters were just strong, independent women. They don't need no man in their life. It was pretty distracting. I, for one, uh, can't stand it. Probably one of the most distracting parts of the movie was watching some purple-haired bitch take the place of Admiral Akbar, because Ryan Johnson thought it'd be a great idea to kill off a fan favorite character and replace him with some nobody who's stuck up, snarky, a narcissist, egomaniac, and just overall very bitchy. Just a big mega cunt. Um, what was her name? Hordors? Holdo? I don't remember her goddamn name, and I don't really care. She was shit. She was the most obnoxious thing in the movie, and it's because uh, Kathleen Kennedy wants to jerk off to female power. Fuck that. I don't care. Get the Star Wars franchise has created great female characters, and they decided to just kind of give us these Mary Sues and bitchy, obnoxious women. I'm not saying women can't be in strong positions. I'm saying that these women that The Last Jedi provided are horribly written. Ahsoka from the Clone Wars is what a great female character looks like. She has flaws. She's weak at some point. She's not perfect, but she grows and becomes stronger as the plot progresses and when her character progresses. She has great character development. And yeah, they just kind of replace that with these perfect Mary Sues. Like Rey can now lift thousands of rocks or hundreds of rocks with no Jedi training whatsoever. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, she did fling some. She did fling her fucking lightsaber in front of a boulder, so she does have some training. Excuse me. Um, yeah. So we got pretty pathetic, pathetically written characters of with females, and it's sad to see that because it's like these people want us to like female characters, and I have no problem with doing that. I have plenty of female characters I like Ripley from the Alien movies. I mean, she's the definition of a badass woman. But what makes her good is that she's relatable. She feels human. She gets scared. She has flaws, but she's strong and she cares about other people. This is how you make a likable character. Making them perfect and going through problems with no obstacles is boring. Uh, let's see. Beatrix Kiddo from the Kill Bill movies. Sarah Connor, yes, thank you, Sarah Connor. Uh, someone mentioned Sarah Connor in the live chat. There's just so many. There's these characters are relatable. They have flaws. They struggle, and that's what makes them good characters. No one likes watching someone just push through barriers like it's nothing. That's exactly what Rey does. It's fucking boring. God, she's a shit main character. I hate her. I'm tired of watching her. Daisy Ridley is obnoxious. The actress who plays Rey is so goddamn obnoxious. She's almost at Brie Larson levels of how fucking toxic she is. Um, okay, I'm done with the feminism crap. Let's talk about how this movie completely shat on Luke Skywalker, one of the best parts of the original trilogy. Uh, he took a very likable, relatable character who, like, just very joyful, um, very just a happy guy, very hopeful. Hopeful, that's the key word, hopeful. This guy was hopeful. He thought he could turn around the whole empire. He thought he could turn around Darth Vader. And then we get Last Jedi Luke, who just is complete opposite of what he was. Carlos says he tried to kill a kid. Yeah, he tried to kill a fucking kid. The guy who thought Darth Vader could change, the guy who killed thousands of people, tried to kill a kid just because he saw one bad vision. The kid didn't do shit, but Luke thought it'd be a good idea just to kill him off then and there. And this kid was his nephew. It's just so stupid. It's God. Oh, and but he hesitated. He stopped himself at the last. The fact that he even attempted to do that is what's bogus. It's fucking dumb writing. They completely killed his character. God, it's sad to watch the original trilogy now, because now I think this is what Luke grows up to be, this old sack of shit who doesn't do anything later on with his life. He gets a pretty terrible ending, if you ask me. He didn't really do anything this movie besides tell Rey what the Force is and then distract Kylo with some stupid ghost Force move, and then he just dies off. Yeah, I mean, this guy was a real bitch and a real coward. I don't know who this old hermit was, but he did not feel like Luke Skywalker. And don't give me that shit that people can change or whatever. There's a difference between character development and backtracking on what you were supposed to become. You know what I'm saying? The whole point, like, this is a guy who's hopeful and faithful. Luke didn't think Darth Vader could become good in A New Hope or even The Empire Strikes Back. But once he learned Darth Vader was his father, that changed a lot of things. He then thought, you know what? Maybe this guy could become good. Because he realized Darth Vader was once good, and maybe he could put him back in that position. He wasn't always evil. And, fuck that. Let's just murder my own nephew, whatever. Someone asked, what do you think of Starkiller? I have played the Force Unleashed games. First one was awesome. Second one was, it was okay. Cool character, but yeah. Getting back to Last Jedi, though. What else can I talk shit about? It did have some minor flaws from a technical standpoint. And just overall, this movie's boring. When this movie is not pissing me off, it's boring. It's like Star Wars a holiday special, but not really pissing me off, because I knew this movie was going to be a waste of time. I just watched it so I could say I've seen every Star Wars movie. But this one's significant to the main story. Holiday special is just filler. It's garbage. It's whatever. This is a major factor and more important than The Force Awakens, and they just give us a shit on a plate. Yeah, so that's all I gotta say about Last Jedi and all these movies. I guess I'll answer like a couple of questions and then I'll sign off. Let's see. Owen asked, what do you think of the Rebel show? I have seen it. Not nearly as good as the Clone Wars, but it's a kind of a solid series. It's just okay for me. I like all the Darth Maul stuff, but that's the only thing I really enjoyed about it. Um, let's see. Black Panther: The Last Jedi. I think I'd rather watch Black Panther. Oof, wow, I didn't like saying that. Uh, did you like Leia's Force connection in the movie? Hell no, dude. They executed that so goddamn poorly. Watching her fly in space like goddamn Superman was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. We were supposed to take that seriously. What an absolute insult to Carrie Fisher. Would you consider swapping Attack of the Clones and the Phantom Menace? Hell no, dude. Attack of the Clones had some really good stuff about it. Phantom Menace had only one really good thing, which was the ending fight scene. Attack of the Clones had a lot of stuff going for it. Which one was most more disappointing, The Last Jedi or Black Panther? I would say Black Panther. Force Awakens was really nothing special, and then when I saw that Ryan Johnson was directing it, I knew it was going to be utter trash. Didn't really have much high hopes for The Last Jedi, and I wanted Black Panther to be really good. Last Jedi, whatever. Um, so yeah, Captain Marvel, The Last Jedi. I would have to say Captain Marvel. Do you have any hope for The Rise of Skywalker? Nope. When are you going to do a Batman movie series ranked? I can do that too. I haven't seen the Adam West movie, which I do want to see because I heard it's really funny. And I have to rewatch Batman Begins because I haven't seen it in a while. And I do have to watch. I have to rewatch Batman Returns. I remember Batman. I remember Batman Forever. I remember Batman and Robin. Unfortunately, and I've seen Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises dozens of times, so I could talk about those movies forever. I haven't seen the Lego Batman movie. I don't know if I'll watch it and include it, but whatever. Game of Thrones season 8 or The Last Jedi? Game of Thrones season 8 easily. Like that season was kind of mediocre, but it had some really good things going for it. Last Jedi's got nothing. Uh Emoji Movie or The Last Jedi? That's a tough one. I don't know if I can answer that one. Oh, Ashley Tupper donated $14. Thank you. She said, I like how they had Luke calling out the Jedi getting stuck in their ways and blinded by the power. Unfortunately, instead of expanding on that, they just turned him into an old bitter man. That's a good point. They could have had him develop into someone that, you know, saw the flaws of the Jedi, or someone who had better ideas than the old Jedi ways, or something along those lines. It would have been something new and different. It would have made sense. Uh, what's your favorite movie ever? I don't want to spoil that. I might have said it before, but for those who don't know, I don't want to spoil it. I am planning to make a video about my favorite movies of all time. I'm either gonna do like top 30 or 20 or something like that. So depending on how much I want to talk about it. Ryan Johnson or D&D. Now D&D are lazy as hell, but they have the potential to be good writers. So I would have to go with them because they have created really good stuff in the past. I can't really name one good thing coming out of Ryan Johnson's ass. Spider-Man ranked. I am planning. Okay, so I am planning to do Batman movies ranked and Spider-Man movies ranked. So yeah, because there's enough for each thing to kind of rank them. I do. They all have their own separate categories. There are really good Batman movies, really good Spider-Man movies, and really bad Batman movies and really bad Spider-Man movies. So that'd be a good one to do. D&D made X-Men Origins Wolverine. Oof, that was arguably the worst X-Men movie. I didn't know that. Let's see. Uh, what YouTubers do you subscribe to? Mostly movie review channels. I do have some commentators I subscribe to. For example, YMS, Your Movie Sucks, Ralph the Movie Maker, Fanboy Flicks. There's a lot of good movie review channels out there. I was subscribed to Channel Awesome, but I found out how scummy they are, and I don't really want to support them anymore. So, are you subscribed to Red Letter Media? I have seen some of his stuff. Not enough for me to subscribe, but I don't hate his content. I don't think it's bad. It's just not really for me. IHE, I do like I Hate Everything. He has some really funny videos. I think I am subscribed to him. Jeremy James, he has good reviews. Chris Stuckman also has really good reviews. Um, I think I'm subscribed to Chris Stuckman, but not Jeremy. Jeremy gets too political sometimes and kind of annoys me, so I just kind of, you know, not really subscribe to him. I hear Dark Phoenix is the worst X-Men flick yet. Are you still planning on seeing it? I never planned on seeing it. I'm not. I haven't seen all of the X-Men movies. I'm not really into them. So yeah, I don't plan on seeing it. Justice League or The Last Jedi? Shit, I can't answer that. They're both shit in their own regard. I can't. What do you think of Channel Awesome? Well, like I just said, I used to like them, but after all that controversy coming out and doing some research on them, not a channel I want to support. So I ended up unsubscribing from them. I used to enjoy all their old content with Doug Walker and Nostalgia Critic and all them. Just not really into it anymore though. It's not funny to me actually. So uh, what film was the most disappointing to you personally? Uh, I don't know. There have been a lot of films that have disappointed me, but I don't know one that's disappointed me for sure. I want to see Godzilla also. Oh, that new Godzilla movie was fucking awesome. That was such a great movie. Like, it wasn't like the best written thing ever, but for a giant monster movie, it was perfect. It was a great movie. It had it improved upon the first Godzilla movie where they had more monsters fighting and less human characters. Yeah, no one really gives a shit about the human characters. I was interested in Charles Dance because he's cool in anything he's in, but I loved all the monster fights and stuff, and yeah, that was cool movie. I love the action in it. The visuals were the best part of the movie. The music was awesome. Just seeing Godzilla swim underwater and that like little jump scare of him popping out of the next to the people underwater was just really cool too. Um, the revival of Godzilla was really cool. Just the visuals were just probably the best part of this movie. It was so cool. I'll take like two more questions, I think, and then I'll wrap it up. Favorite director? Stanley Kubrick. I don't like him as a person because he's done some fucked up shit, but he is a really good director. Quentin Tarantino is also really good. Steven Spielberg. I mean, I think all those guys would be tied for first place. I think all three of them are just really good in their own respect. Do movie reviews every now and then. I am planning on doing more movie reviews because I want to go more in depth with the like with Rogue One or just other movies I really admire, or I feel like I could analyze completely. Not necessarily movies I really like or really hate, just movies I could talk about a lot. Doing Tarantino movie reviews, I'm probably going to talk about Kill Bill or something like that, or maybe do a tier list about the best Tarantino movies or Kubrick movies or Spielberg movies. No, worst movie you've ever seen. I'm actually going to do a worst movies list in the future. I'm also going to do best comic book movies I've ever seen and worst comic book movies I've ever seen in the future as well. So I am planning on doing that. Avatar 2 is going to flop. I don't really think about that. All right. All right. I'm going to do the last question, which is The Dark Knight or Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1 is a really good movie, a really good superhero movie, one of the best superhero movies, but Dark Knight is a different tier. It takes itself more seriously, and that rarely works with a comic book movie, but the fact that you're able to accomplish that is just puts it in a tier of its own. And I have not seen a comic book movie take itself that seriously and work before. So yeah, that's what I really admire about The Dark Knight. besides the fact that it's got a great plot, story, characters, and acting and sound effects, just music and everything. The fact that it was able to take itself seriously, a man dressed as a bat fighting crime and clowns, just puts in a tier of its own. So yeah, that was the last question I was going to take. So I'm going to head out now.